White Pocket is a small patch of colorful sandstone that has literally gone wild and crazy. Walking around the swirling sandstones of White Pocket is truly a surreal experience. Stay with us, and we'll take you on a virtual hike through this very scenic place. You'll see all the different features found at White Pocket, and we'll show you where they're located using Google Earth and the path we took plotted using our phone's GPS. Whether you just want to enjoy being there virtually by watching our video, or you'd like to know what you'll see when you go there yourself or with a tour guide, stay tuned and we'll show you around. We'll also show you how to get there and what to know before you tackle the challenging roads to this very remote place. Plus, you'll hear a little bit about what may have occurred here a long time ago in order to create this wild and crazy sandstone. Located in a very remote area between Kanab, Utah and Page, Arizona, White Pocket actually sits on top of what is called the Paria Plateau, which is part of the Vermilion Cliffs National Monument. White Pocket is part of the same crazy and colorful sandstone formations where Coyote Butte South, Buckskin Gulch, and the Wave are located. With the Wave being limited to around 60 visitors per day, many people have turned to White Pocket as an alternate place to visit. Because of increased visitation to White Pocket, there has been some talk over the past few years about making it another place where permits are required before visiting, like Grand Canyon's Torweep or Zion's Angel's Landing. But as of 2022, you don't need one. One possible reason for not going to a permit system is that White Pocket is a little difficult to get to for most people. For one, you must travel on many miles of rugged dirt roads where, when it's not rocky, it's in deep sand. Typically, it's an all-day commitment to visit White Pocket, so please plan accordingly. Just like so many other trips we've taken you on, this one is also very remote. Bring lots of water, food, have a full tank of gas, and remember that phone coverage is sketchy. When we first visited in 2010, it was a navigational challenge, as you may have seen in the first video we published on White Pocket back then. Now, the BLM has put up plenty of signs pointing the way, but you still must use a high-clearance four-wheel drive vehicle to get there. No wannabe four-wheel drives, such as those that have all-wheel drive, and especially no rental car SUVs, whose rental contracts typically forbid using their vehicles on roads like this. If you insist on driving something that isn't truly four-wheel drive and end up getting stuck or breaking something, keep in mind that you are over 50 miles from any business and the towing cost to retrieve your vehicle is likely to be very expensive. If you do get stuck, we recommend contacting our buddy Casey at Casey's Off-Road Recovery. Check out his YouTube channel and you'll see what happens to people who didn't heed this warning. According to Casey, most people he's helped get unstuck start by going down a road that becomes increasingly more difficult. They are afraid to turn around, so they just keep going, hoping that the road will get better. But it doesn't, and by then, it's too late. By the time they realize they can't go any further, they are stuck. There is another way to get to White Pocket, and for some, a much better way. Hire a tour guide. Not only do they have vehicles capable of making it to White Pocket, but their guides are experts in the area and will show you and tell you all about what there is to see. The folks at Grand Circle Tours are experts in this area. Whether it's White Pocket or elsewhere in southern Utah, they can drive you there and take you on a guided hike. Mention Backroads West when you book your tour with them for a special packaged tour to White Pocket. All right, enough of the warnings and the plugs. Let's get on with explaining how White Pocket was created And why here? Well, I don't really know, and nobody else does either. Based on what we've been told and have researched ourselves, the explanations are just a bunch of educated guesses. But to make a decent guess, you first have to remember that White Pocket sits within a vast geologic formation or layer known as Navajo sandstone, sometimes known as the Glen Canyon Group. According to geologists, back in the Jurassic period of 190 to 160 million years ago, this large region, essentially everything you see that is colored orange on the Google Earth imagery, is what's left of vast sand dunes, similar to what exists today in parts of northern Africa, like the Sahara Desert. After the sand dunes turned to sandstone, it could be that the area of White Pocket became more pliable due to the various times it was covered by water. Perhaps a tidal wave or some other violent event twisted and folded the almost solid sandstone, then left it in the shape we see today. That's probably the best guess we've heard from a geologist that put on a presentation about White Pocket in nearby St. George. Also, regarding the why here, if you spend more time on the Paria Plateau area of Vermilion Cliffs National Monument, you'll find that it's not just here. There are other areas similar to White Pocket. In fact, many formations found in North and South Coyote Buttes, aka the Wave, have similarities to White Pocket. And then there are places like Candy Cliffs on Yount Flat, just outside of St. George, that have similar features too. And guess what? These features all exist in Navajo sandstone. Next, let me show you how to get there. As previously mentioned, White Pocket is located on the Paria Plateau. As you can see on this map, it sits halfway between Kanab and Page on the Arizona-Utah border. The quickest way to White Pocket from a paved road is to take Highway 89A, not 89. 89A spans the south side of the Paria Plateau. Take 89A to the south end of House Rock Valley Road, which is either 65 miles from Page or 14 miles from Jacob Lake, which is the entrance to the Grand Canyon's north rim. When you turn onto the dirt road, reset your trip meter. In about 3 miles, you'll reach the Condor Viewing Site, which is a nice place to air down your tires and to air them back up on your way out. Here you can also read about what significance this place has in relation to North America's largest bird. At 9.4 miles, turn right onto the well-defined road that heads east, which is BLM Road 1017. You'll see this sign that reminds those people in vehicles with limited abilities to know what four-wheel drive really means. Continue on 1017 for 6 miles to an obvious landmark, this ranch house. Your trip meter should read 15.5. Bear right around the ranch house, then turn left onto BLM 1087. Be sure to look at this unique well used for pumping water for the ranch house. Going straight instead of turning left here will lead further into the vast interior of the Paria Plateau. There are long, long stretches of deep sand to negotiate that people rarely drive on. And there really isn't much to see here. After you pass the ranch house, the real challenging road begins. Driving is a mixture of keeping your speed and momentum up in the deep sand so that you don't get stuck, then immediately slowing down to a crawl when you approach the sharp-edged rocks that will easily shred your tires if you drive over them too fast. It's a delicate balance. On many back roads in the Southwest, you'll encounter closed gates. These gates don't necessarily mean the road's closed. Many are just cattle gates that you may open, drive through, and then close behind you. There is still a lot of privately leased property out here. When you open or close the gate, this is how to handle the chain or wire that keeps the gate shut. Make sure to put the chain back correctly so it securely keeps the gate closed. After you open them, it's important that you close them. As mentioned earlier, we are sitting on Jurassic-aged petrified sandstone. So, I'm not sure if the gate is used to keep in or keep out those vicious velociraptors. I'm sure these gates will do the job though. No, actually, this is to make certain no cattle enters the white pocket area and makes a mess. There are also gates that you may not open. Just read the sign on the gate and be respectful. Here's an example of a gate that the owners definitely do not want you to go through. After about 20 to 30 minutes of driving from the gate, you'll arrive at the white pocket trailhead and parking area. You'll see it on the left. Begin your hike by walking through the fence and past the kiosk. The first part of the hike is in deep sand. After less than a half mile of deep sand, you'll be rewarded by reaching the hard surface of the Navajo sandstone. Just beyond this point, be sure to look for the round dinosaur tracks. Some of these tracks are from cattle too. White Pocket was named by ranchers because many of the sandstone outcroppings in the Paria Plateau created pockets, also called tanks, that collected rainwater, precious water that the cattle needed to drink. So the tracks you may see here, including worn-in paths, are also from cattle that were once heading to the pockets of water before this area was protected by the National Monument. So, it is confusing to determine which tracks are from the cattle and which are from the Jurassic period. If you see one of these, you'll know for sure that was not left by a cow. Some of the dinosaurs that supposedly roamed through here also had round feet, which are found on other sandstone outcroppings like this. If you hire a guide, he or she would definitely be able to point out the dino tracks. Alright, on with our walk through the crazy sandstone. You'll notice in this section of the hike that the sandstone is very contorted, different than found in other places, and it's a little difficult to walk on. While looking around at the jaw-dropping scenery, it's difficult to watch where you step here. Mokai marbles, which are iron concretions that have been eroded out of the sandstone, can be found in various parts of White Pocket, including here. From here, we'll continue to roam around the White Pocket area. We walked roughly 2.5 miles round trip around this relatively small place. The blue lines you'll see on the Google Earth imagery is exactly where we walked, which I recorded using Gaia GPS on my phone. Enjoy our tour of this crazy sandstone. Hopefully the Google Earth animation will help you orientate yourself to some of the whimsical and eccentric features found in this fascinating area. Starting with this first big feature you'll encounter after walking 1/4 mile from the trailhead. We hope you enjoyed our tour. See our website blog at the address on your screen to learn more about getting to and visiting White Pocket. Check out our YouTube channel to browse through more tours like this, such as neighboring Buckskin Gulch or The Wave, to enjoy more destinations in the American Southwest. Happy exploring!